Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining today. I'm Rick Parkhill. I'm the director of brand storytelling, and I'm very pleased to be joined by my friend and our advisor to brand storytelling, Shannon Pruitt. Hi, Shannon. Thanks for joining today.
Hi, Rick. Thanks for having me. Always a
Yeah.
pleasure.
I want to talk to you just a little bit. I think congratulations are still in order. I know that you assumed this new role as Global Chief Content Officer at Stagwell Media Network just back in September. So congratulations on that. And tell us a little bit about what's going on there now that this merger is completed, and what your job looks like.
I mean, it's really exciting. Essentially Stagwell and MDC coming together made our media offering much stronger and more powerful and robust and quite frankly global, which is wonderful. In the way that Forward PMX and Assembly came together, bringing a really digital first capability in with Assembly, who had more omni-channel media buying capabilities, and making that a global powerhouse is exciting. And then we have 7 other agencies that bring so much to the table for different brands in different ways, whether it looks like fully integrated, everything from data and insights all the way through creative and media, to Multiview, which is our B2B agency, and Lucaria, which is a global content translation solution business. So supporting all those agencies and thinking about all their different specific capabilities and our clients that we have in the portfolio and what we need to do with those clients, whether it's innovation through products and services, whether it's through creating programs or looking at opportunities like we're about to talk today, and figuring out how those can have a longer shelf life as it relates to the power of the storytelling, how it can show up organically in people's lives, and how we can actually help to drive messaging and stories forward that build the brands over time. So I'm super excited about the role. I love the agencies and the CEOs I'm working with. The clients are all amazing. And, again, it's sort of building something new, which I love to do. And kind of starting with a white piece of paper and figuring out how we make it into a mini series chapter book.
Yeah, well, what an exciting new role. And I'm sure, your roster of clients is pretty amazing that you're going to be working with. So we're going to see all sorts of innovation coming out of Stagwell Media Network and your role there. And speaking of innovation, I think that this initiative that you've developed with the Veterans United is really incredible. And this thing that happened over Veterans Day, we're really glad to be joined by the CMO of Veterans United, Chris Farmer. Chris, why don't you turn your video on and join us today, please? Hi, Chris. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
And we also have David Hansen, who's VP Chief Creative, I believe. Is that the right title, David?
Yep, VP Creative here at Veterans United. Glad to be here.
Glad to have both of you on here. I'm going to start this with something. MIZ.
ZOU.
There you go. They're calling in. They're zooming in from Como, Missouri, the home of the Missouri Tigers. So listen, Chris and David, I really love this Thanks to Veterans program. And rather than me describe it, I'd love to, if you just give us a little bit of background of, what's the why behind all of this, and tell us a little bit about Veterans United to begin with, and how this initiative came to be.
Sure, I can start kind of explain a little bit about who Veterans United is. We're a mortgage company based out of Columbia, Missouri. We're dedicated to helping veterans realize the dream of home ownership, and we do that through primarily through a product called a VA loan. And so if you've served in the military, you have a host of benefits available to you. One of those is a VA loan. It allows you to buy a mortgage or buy a home with a 0 down mortgage, and it also allows you to buy a home without paying private mortgage insurance. So it's a really great benefit to veterans. What we found is there's not a ton of awareness around the product, and so the company is celebrating its 20th year in business, and that's what we do. And so Veterans Day is a pretty special day for us here at Veterans United. We've got a whole crew here who's really passionate about serving veterans. And so every year we try and do something big to shine a light on America's veterans. And all the things that they add to our communities and our lives. And so this year, and actually maybe David can kind of talk about some of the conversations we had going into this year's Veterans Day and kind of what surfaced as to the Thanks to Veterans event that we put together.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, like Chris said, we wanted to make sure that on Veterans Day, a day where to give thanks to all those who served, that we just wanted to show our gratitude and appreciation for all veterans. And how this idea for Thanks to Get Veterans kind of came about. One thing that we've learned through our years of working with veterans, and actually backed up by real demographic research, is that veterans in particular are remarkably drawn to giving back to their communities. They're more likely to volunteer, to take on roles in their communities like Little League coaches, church group leaders. They're more likely to vote and participate in local politics. They're also way more likely than non-veterans to take on public service jobs like firefighters and police officers. Whether this is something that they learn in service or if this call to helping others is just inherent to the kind of person who signs up for military service, I imagine it's probably a bit of both. So on Veterans Day, we just wanted to shine a light on all the reasons that we have to be grateful for veterans, in addition to their selfless military service, to really show how, in addition to their service, they're just making their communities stronger. So we landed on this idea of doing these beautiful short form films, going deep looks into the lives of some of these veterans and show the world just how remarkable their stories are. And then to do our part, say thanks.
David,
yeah,
if you don't mind, let me interrupt you here for just a moment, because these films really speak for themselves. And I think I just show a few highlights here for our audience and give a flavor of what veterans are all about and what you're doing for them. So if you don't mind, we'll just go to that right now.
Are you serious?
No way.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
We're kind of in a state of shock.
I own a home.
So that's terrific. As you can see, terrific stories. David, tell us what happened from there. So you've created these great short films of profiles of veterans. How do you illuminate this program?
Yeah, so really, like you said, these stories kind of speak for themselves. So one thing that we just kind of talked about going into this was just create great content and get it out into the world. So we knew that these would be great on social media and just kind of organically kind of like light a fire. So we were all over Facebook, we were all over YouTube. We got the homepage for YouTube, which was a really cool placement, and all over TikTok. TikTok was huge that day. We had these little 15-second shorts, and then we had these incredible integrations working in partnership with Good Morning America, Live with Kelly and Ryan, Tamron Hall Show, and Jimmy Kimmel to really kind of tell these stories and get them out in the world.
Well, let's talk about that, Shannon. How did all that come about? You just give Jimmy Kimmel a call and say, "Hey, I got an integration we'd like to do." Tamron Hall is like, "Hey, you got time on Veterans Day for us to bring somebody in?" Tell us how all that happened.
Some things are just meant to be in the stars, to be honest. I think this was one of those very special, unique moments in time where, because of the stories that we were telling, because it was Veterans Day and it was really a significant cultural moment, because these stories themselves were already so powerful, like we had some sense of what they were going to be. And then the benefit to the veterans ultimately, right? This ability to have their home paid in full was like such a compelling story, an easy story to tell. So when we called Disney, because it was like, where could this make the most sense and have the biggest megaphone with also the most sort of dynamic ability to tell the stories in different ways to different audiences to spread the most awareness about the Thanks to Veterans campaign, not campaign, platform, program, initiative, all of the things we're calling it. Because, you know, as we were saying earlier, campaigns, you know, they come to life and then they go away. And this is not meant to go away, right? This is veterans in our communities every day. This should be in our lives every day as well. So, you know, it was some phone calls to some folks that we know over at Disney. And we also talked to other, you know, major studios and networks, because we wanted to just understand kind of also what is their commitment to veterans? How do they, you know, how would they tell the stories in the context of their, you know, journalistic environments, which is, you know, kind of the key and critical thing, right? Like some of this stuff blurs the lines between news and story. And I will tell you what, all of the producers, which is so fun on my side of the business, because you don't see this all the time. I've been to them and been like, hey, can we put, you know, this product into your show? And they're like, oh, right. In this case, they were super jazzed, right? They came back and they're like, we've never given away a home on air before. You know, all of the shows said that. The talent with the shows and the producers were like, that sounds amazing. You know, Jimmy was like, I really want to get involved. My Uncle Frank was a veteran, right? Like, it's such a personal story to tell as well. Like, even for me, my dad is a veteran. My grandfathers were veterans. Like, I think that there's a level of personalization and attachment to what this is and what it represents that the shows themselves got super excited. So what was supposed to be, you know, we thought would be short, ended up being long. And, you know, GMA flew to the location to be with the veteran when they found out that their home was paid in full. You know, it was just, I have to tell you, like, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and to be able to participate and, you know, have my team work on this and negotiate it with and see the enthusiasm across every party to make this work in what I will tell you was like a 4-week window
That's plenty of time.
Spectacular. It was spectacular.
You know, the reveals are so much fun to watch. You know, the Jimmy Kimmel reveal, because you really, you know, you get a little insight to who these people are. It's not just a home giveaway. It's a home for a veteran and their family that on Veterans Day. Let's just cut to a couple of these so people get a sense of what this happened on Tamron Hall, on Jimmy Kimmel, Live with Kelly and Ryan, and Good Morning America. Let's look at a little of that.
Hey guys, Veterans United is giving away not just one home loan, but 11 throughout the entire country.
We're meeting a U.S. Navy and National Guard veteran. We partnered with Veterans United Home Loans.
This home was recently purchased by 2 people in our studio audience tonight. Do you have any idea how I know all this stuff? I know it because the folks at Veterans United Home Loans told me about it.
Veterans United believes in our communities and made stronger, safer, and better places to live.
I got a copy of your mortgage right here. I know there was a lot of blood, you know, sweat and tears that was put into this, but you know what? That's no good anymore. Veterans United Home Loans has paid off your home.
Veterans United has paid your loan off in full.
United Home Loans wanted to say thank you not only for your past service, but your current service, what you do in your community right now. It allows our veterans to go out there into the world and continue to do the good work they started doing while they were in the service, and now they continue it as citizens.
For all that you do and have done for others, Veterans United is going to pay for your home in full. You will.
Chance to win. Congratulations. It's all yours. So grateful.
The universe.
It's unreal. I mean, to even think that, I mean, never would have thought of anything like this. I'm out of words. I'm sorry.
Happy Veterans Day. Can I get a new raw?
So those are terrific. You know, we can share the links and people can go watch those whole, they're about 5 or 7 minute segments on all those shows. But that's just great work, Shannon. And I'm sure 4 weeks was plenty for you to get that done.
Well, I have to tell you, the team at Veterans United is amazing, right? When you have great clients who are all rowing in the same direction with you, it makes all the difference in the world. So it was truly a team lift. So, and the network, right? Like, I mean, all of it was just really, it was an incredible team effort.
Well, congratulations. Let's talk a little bit about how you built this thing, because, you know, the stories are so compelling. These people are so real. And David, you know, you did such a great job in the short stories that you did. I think there's some 6 of them. Recommend everybody go and check those out. But how did you go about casting? I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of veterans. How did you find the ones that had the most compelling stories? How did that work?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'll tell you, it certainly wasn't easy to land on only 10, because like you said, there's hundreds of thousands of these stories, just like these sex veterans we profiled all over the country. We started off, you know, our loan teams here at Veterans United are on the phones every day, talking with veterans, hearing their stories, hearing about their dreams and ambitions for home ownership. So we started out just by putting a call out to the whole company and just asking them, you know, send us the stories you've heard, tell us about these, some of these remarkable veterans that you're talking to and that you're meeting, and, you know, nominate some that you think would be great to highlight and share with the world. We then had an incredible team here, just like spending hundreds of hours, days and nights, going through all these nominations, reading their stories, and then reaching out to them. We spoke to probably 100 different veterans on the phone to learn more about their stories, more about them, what drives them, how they are involved in their communities, and then convincing them to do all this, open up their and share their life with us, all without giving away the big surprise. It was a challenge for sure, but we found some incredible veterans.
Yeah, great job on the casting, because all of those stories are so compelling that people are so real, and it really gives us a peek into, you know, the life of a veteran and the challenges that they go through and how you guys are helping meet those challenges. Let's talk about, you know, what was the plan to distribute this from the get-go, and, you know, how did you plan to distribute, and did that plan unfold as you went along? I think, you know, of course, this goes out on social, but when did the whole TV integration come along? Was that part of the plan to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, we knew right from the onset that we wanted it to be bigger than just social. We said we wanted this to be everywhere. We knew we wanted to get kind of widespread on broadcasts. So from the start, we reached out to our friends at Assembly and asked, like, what's a plan? How can we get this to just feel like it's everywhere, to get as many eyeballs and just kind of share these stories with as many people in the world? So they brought us these great connections at Disney with Good Morning America, Live with Kelly and Ryan, Tamron Hall, Jimmy Kimmel. And we just kind of talked through ways where if we create this amazing content and if we meet these amazing veterans, what's the best way to get this out in front of the world and share their stories with as many people as possible?
So Chris, I got to ask you, is there any, did this meet your expectations? I mean, when we all sat down and said, let's give away 11 homes, let's tell these stories, this have the payoff you were hoping for?
Yeah, I got to tell my own personal story here, and it was Shannon talked about us being great partners. Like, we had amazing partners all around, and the team that worked on this and put this together was absolutely just incredible. And I previewed the first video, and it was Jim's video when we were out shooting our anthem spot. And I sat down with Colin, who's his creative director, and he sat down, he's handed me his laptop, and he hit play, and he just sat silent for about 3 minutes and 30 seconds as I just took this in, and I just wept. And it was just so meaningful to me, and it was so impactful to see the team capture sort of Jim's essence as it was, and then show that moment where he realized that his mortgage was going to be paid off, was absolutely incredible. And so for me, like at that moment, in that 3 minutes and 30 seconds, this for me just took on a different life of its own, because I saw what an impact it had on me, and then I showed it to my close friends, my family. I mean, strangers on the street who would see this would have that same reaction, and it was so moving and so meaningful for me. I almost felt like no longer were we sort of like we said, this is not a campaign. This is a movement. This is something other than a campaign. And I almost felt like we were a shepherd of this content more so than we were like the producers of it at that point. And so I really felt it was really important to shine as big a light on this as we could, almost that we had an obligation or a duty to do so. And so when we went out, we almost had a calling to say, we want more and more people to see the lives of these veterans and how they make their community stronger. And so we had some really great examples of that. And so we really wanted to start a conversation about the role that veterans play in the lives of everyone today, and how veterans make our community stronger. Early on, it was somebody had said, on Veterans Day, we thank people for their service. Maybe today we're going to thank them for everything but their service, right? And I love that line, because it just shows that a veteran is so much more than what the service that they put into their country. They serve every single day, whether it's their families, their communities, their churches, their T-ball teams. And so we really wanted to shine a light on that part of veterans' life as well.
Well, that's certainly sort of the goosebump moments of these shows. It captures a wide audience and really does illuminate, the benefit that veterans bring to the communities that they live in. So congratulations all around. I love it that this is a platform and not a campaign. So, what's next?
That's a good question. We started talking about that last week, and we were like, oh man, it's, given the success of this, we talk about success of this. It sort of took on a different life afterwards, because again, I felt like we were sort of shepherds for this content, and we're still looking for ways to shine a light on these veterans. But yeah, we'll see what's next. I know that we have a lot of really smart, really talented, passionate, dedicated people behind this, and we've got some stories of amazing veterans, and so we'll find some combination of those things for next year, hopefully.
I hope so too. I'll look forward to watching. But I've got a final question for you here, for all three of you, really. Our mission here at Brand Storytelling is to help brands understand the opportunities to engage with audiences with content they seek versus interrupt what they have found. We think there's a dynamic trend in the media world where interruptive advertising is on the wane and content is on the rise. How do you talk about that at Veterans United, and how you plan for the future? And you just comment on that. Are we on the right track with that trend? I see David nodding his head.
Yeah, I think that this content feels anything but a 30-second commercial, and so that was what we wanted to go into when we were developing this content. We didn't think we didn't want Veterans United to sort of like be front and center of the story. This really was a story about how veterans make our communities better, and we shepherded the content, and we hopefully we were able to tell those stories in a way that was meaningful, in a way that people wanted to see it. I think, in some ways, I think for a brand that wants to do something like this, they've got to take themselves out of the center of the conversation. And I think that was something that we embraced early on with this, was sort of take Veterans United out of the center of it and really just like highlight the stories of these veterans.
Well, that's what a platform will do versus a campaign. And this is a platform that it seems that you've established, and it will be around for years to come. So congratulations with all of this. I thank all of you for joining us today, and look forward to seeing you in person, whether it's in Como or Park City in the near future. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.